Hello guys, welcome back. This is Chronicles of Raw Gold. So guys, over the weekend I made a lot of dishes. It's that time of the weekend that I used to make numerous dishes. On this weekend I made 3 pots of dishes. Let me take you through on how it went. So this is some white meat, gizzard and turkey, right? So I'm parboiling it, and this is ice fish. I have finished saucing it, and I also want to parboil it as well. So after the whole thing, I covered the lid of the pot. Over here, that of the stew have started steaming, and I need to turn it rigorously so that everything will incorporate, you guys. So after some minutes later, I checked for the other one to know how far it's going. I mean the fish, and it's still cooking. Before you know it, the thing starts to boil. So it's boiling here. In my house, there is this thing that we normally do. We love fish a lot. There is no day that we'll cook that will not use fish. So that fish is also for stew as well. So over here I'm steaming the meat for that of soup, the 2 soups. So I'm also frying the meat for the stew. So in the other burner, I want to make my Ogbono soup. All the whole thing that I will use and do Ogbono soup have already been set. I poured a mild water, not mild water, cold water, on the other pot for my soup. Then I carried the Ogbono and pour. You have to pour it immediately after you pour your cold water so that it will not go and start to cake. So on the other pot is my stew. I finished frying. I just sieve out some of the black this thing. After that, I diced my onion. I poured my onion and pour in my fresh tomato that I've already parboiled, right? So I'm making use of the 2 burners. So as the stew is cooking, the soup is also cooking as well. So you can see the fish. I've finished frying it. I topped some water again and on the other pot of soup, which is the Ogbono soup. Now I'm adding my oil. I think I added up to 4 spoons of oil, 4 tablespoons of oil there. I love oil, and thank God that my mom always supply oil for me. So I always like to put my lid of the pot halfway. So here I'm putting in my seasoning cube. Right? So after the seasoning cube, I put my iru. You guys know iru. It has a lot of health benefits. It helps in the sides, right? So I added my fresh pepper and my ogiri okpei. So after I finish adding it, I stirred it rigorously. I stir it so that everything will incorporate, right? So on the other pot, I'm checking in for the stew. Remember, I have added my onion, added my fresh tomato that I boiled, and the stew is boiling. So I need to turn it so as the stew not to burn. Then I didn't cover it everything. I covered it halfway. So the Ogbono soup is really Ogbonoing. As you can see, everything I've entered, remaining the fresh vegetable. I first of all put in my uziza leaf. After the uziza leaf, I added in my ugu leaf. Immediately you add your leaf, your green leafy vegetable on your soup, the soup is ready. So I didn't want to leave it for it to take. I just off the lid of the gas, right? So over here I'm testing for the salt to know if the salt catch it very well, right? So it happened to be that the salt is okay, I just cover this because I'm done with the ogbono soup. Now I need to add my seasoning cube. Over here there is the one that I did not remember that I didn't open. Thank God that I did not put it though. So now I'm putting in my seasoning cube. After the seasoning cube, I need to turn it rigorously. I added in another seasoning, just one. I don't use much seasoning stuff, right? So because I will still add the meat stock. So now I'm testing for the salt to know if the salt really incorporates very well. So after it, I added some portion of salt to taste it. After the tasting, our stew done ready. So yeah, I think at this junction the stew is ready. So we'll be making use of the stew the next day. So I didn't add my scent leaf. I'll add it much later, the day that I'll use it. So on another burner is for prepping for my egusi soup. So I've just added in cold water on the pot. I on the pot. I need to allow it to steam. That is my egusi, right? So I put in a seasoning cube on the egusi. I stirred it very well before I added in water for it to turn and come together, right? So I'm pouring in the water. I'll use this water with the spoon and turn it very very well to form a paste. After I finish turning it to form a paste, you will see what the magic that I did with this. Guys, if you cook your egusi soup with this method, anybody that doesn't love egusi will start liking egusi. Trust me, I'm not even going to lie. Just watch this film or watch this video. Guys, please, if you watch to this extent, remember to give me thumbs up, like, comment and share my videos, right? So yeah, over here my water is boiling. I need to add in the egusi that I turned, right? I'm adding it, I'm scooping it and adding small gently. So over here I finished adding it. I covered the lid of the pot. I need to cook it like for some time. So here my stew is ready. I need to carry it down because I need to set another pot for my egusi soup. Yeah, so now this is the pot of my egusi soup. Remember that I have cooked my meat. I'm going to pour in the meat here, the meat that I'll be using for my egusi, right? So now I need to check to know if the egusi is okay. Of course, it has not yet done. I need to add up water on it, right? So I added in another water and I stirred it to make sure that it's not burning, right? So after that, I covered the lid of the pot again. Then I faced the other side of the pot. So now I'm pouring in the meat, the already cooked meat that I'll use and cook the egusi soup. After that, I wash my stock fish and my dry fish as a mangala. So now I'm going to add my dry fish, add my mangala fish. You can see my dry fish and my mangala fish. I'm going to add it now. After adding it, I will pour in water on it. So this water is what I'll use and make the soup, right? So I covered the pot so that it will steam up. So you can see it have already steamed up, and at this junction my egusi have already cooked, right? So I'm going to pieces the egusi now, small. Anybody that doesn't love egusi, when you test this method of cooking of egusi, you will love it because it will not be javelin, or it will not be somehow in the mouth. It will be so succulent, and you will not perceive sour odor that egusi soup normally emits, right? You really love it. So over here I'm trying to pieces the egusi very well so that the lumps will not be big, because most time if you pour it like that, the lumps might not break very well. It will make your soup not to come out well. So at this junction, I'm done pieces-ing it, and I poured it into my egusi, my pot of egusi, right? After I finish pouring it, some portion is remaining. I need to scoop it. I scoop it gently and I poured it again. Another thing that I'm going to do is to like, you know, turn the egusi inside the pot very well, then add in some of the cooking ingredients, right? So now I'm adding in my oil. I added at least 2 to 3 spoons of this measurement spoon there. So after I finished adding it, I added another one, making it 4, right? And be 5 safe. I too like oil. Hey God, oh. So after that, I closed the lid of the pot, right? I closed the pot. You allow it to steam rigorously, to steam very, very well. Now it has really steamed, and I will be adding in some of the ingredients, right? You have to stir it. After stirring it, before you add up some of the ingredients that we'll be needing for this food. So I use iru. This is my iru. I added in my iru. Iru has a lot of health benefits, right? And it will give your soup some. It will take your soup from 0 to 100. So after I added in my pepper and my ukbei that I blended. So ukbei is also good. It has a lot of health benefits. All these are local spicy and local seasoning, right? So this is my crayfish. I added in my crayfish. What is African dish without crayfish? So I need to add enough crayfish. I added in my crayfish. After the crayfish, I added in some seasoning cube and I stirred it very, very well. So after the stirring, now it's time for me to cover the pot. I make sure that I stir it well. I stirred it properly. Then I'll cover it. At least at this junction, my coming back here is to put my veggies and the soup will be ready. You can see it's really boiling. The first veggies that I added is my uziza leaf. You can see the uziza leaf, and the second one is ugu. At this junction, I'm not even going to allow this soup to cook more than 10 minutes or 5 minutes because the vapor, or rather the heat that is on this soup, will cook the vegetables. So no need for you to leave it for a long time. So now I'm turning it. Of course, our soup is ready. So onye ọbụla je wete loyi ya, go and bring your semo. So at this junction, we have our Ogbono soup and we have Egusi soup. We have our stew for our Sunday rice. I've turned off the gas and we are done cooking. Our food is ready. If you've watched to this extent, thank you for watching. You can see our stew. This stew is very big. We cannot even finish it. We'll just divide it into 2. This is my Ogbono soup. And the other one is my Egusi soup. Guys, thank you for watching. And I will see you on my next one. Bye, guys.